Give me one
Greetings,
moment. Hold on one second.
Okay. Yeah, so go ahead. If
greetings,
you
and welcome to Africa Online
My
Media
video.
Corporation. It is another Sunday. It is another time for us to get together. It is sunny but cold out here in Maryland. We are at 60 degrees Fahrenheit at this time. It is comfortable enough to be outside if you really want to. And I would say, yes, you really want to be outside because it helps with your health. And it is that the best thing in the world, being healthy. So welcome to the program. Welcome to Africa Online Media Corporation. We will get started with our editorial before we introduce our guest and the rest of us who are here today. So here we go. It is May 29, 2026. It is the 88th day of the year 2026. The 88th day, yes. March will be over in 3 days. Can you imagine? With us,
scary.
With us have 277 days left for 2026 to be out of the way. Today is the 19th, or rather the 13th Sunday of 2026 on the 14th week of the year using United States week number calculations. Can you believe that it is already the 10th day of spring? Yeah, if you like spring like me, then we're counting together. We thus have 84 more days in spring before we see summer. Today, March the 29th, features a mix of national, international, and or days to be funny, to be observant, to be watchful, and to learn to do things the way you always do them. Among the things that we're observing today, we have World Piano Day. Do you play the piano? Well, if you do, good for you. Among those things, therefore, is Piano Day. It is a timeless instrument, that is the piano. It's a timeless instrument that helps us, that inspires music and helps us to be creative and appreciative in what we do and how we do it. That being said, that is not all for today. Today is also National Neighbor Day. Please give a shout out to your neighbor because the neighbors make life go round. They help us promote community building and small acts of kindness towards one another. It is also Knights of Columbus Day. Don't ask me what that is. I know what it is, but I will not tell you. But it was founded in 1882. And today, for Christians and believers, has been Palm Sunday, the day that reminds us of the start of Holy Week in the Christian calendar, celebrating Jesus Christ's arrival and triumphal entry into Jerusalem, and where he was, of course, taken hostage and finally killed. Of course, today is also Education and Sharing Day, which encourages us to make sure that we learn to accept one another as who they are, because being friendly, being educated, and sharing what you know is very important to keep the community going. We are encouraged that learning and sharing today must be done by participating in a program like this, Africa Online Media Corporation, in which we discuss issues akin to men and women, but today in particular, we're discussing women's health. We will be with you in momentarily, but March, as well as we also know it, is Women's Month. It has been, it is, and we are celebrating women all the month of March rather. So we still have 3 days to celebrate women before we say, okay, women, let us go looking for the men because they have been lonely all this month of March. I'm just kidding. I'm not being serious about that one. Men are not always lonely. Men are always looking forward, and they hope that women will always bring what they have. And this is necessary because men's and women's health challenges are as different as we know them, because we know women are different, men are different. We are all human beings. Yes, women's health, we understand, quote, encompasses a wide range of issues, including reproductive health, mental health, chronic conditions, and wellness strategies tailored specifically for them, that is, for the women. That said, where are we now? Therefore, we should be able to personalize healthy conditions, helping each other to understand what they need, what their health needs are, and ensuring that what we do is what experts tell us to do, is what we know is best for all of us, because health experts and others in the field are taking things more seriously these days as they continue paying attention to both men and women, ensuring, especially for the women, that women's health conditions are improved upon every second of our existence. Mm-hmm. We have one such expert in our program today. She will be introduced to you momentarily, but for now, let us welcome the chair of Africa Online Media Corporation, Her Highness, Reverend Palm, to welcome all of us, especially welcome our guest who has not been on this program before, but who has started today and will always be with us. We look forward to seeing her. Reverend Palm, it is your turn now to take the microphone and to welcome our guest and the rest of us so that together we can move this train forward.
Thank you so much, Nia Song. As a matter of fact, after this show, I'm going to go outside and say hello to at least one neighbor. You know, since you said it was what neighbor day?
It's World Neighbor Day.
Okay. Well, you know, I remember when neighbors used to help raise children. Now, a lot of people don't even know their neighbors, yes. You know. But thank you so much for your editorial. On behalf of Africa Online Media Corporation, I want to appreciate you. Our co-anchor, Ambassador Lisa, is going to join us in a few minutes. I want to welcome all our viewers around the globe, those watching live on YouTube, those who are going to watch on Facebook, and Dr. B. Tazan, who's been here from the beginning. Dr. B, thank you so much. And I want to welcome our guest, Dr. Colleen Harewood, but I want Dr. B. Tazan to introduce her. And Dr. Harewood, you will get a chance to introduce yourself to our viewers, because it will not be fair for me to introduce you, because I will definitely shortchange you, and I don't want to do that. I value you. Thank you so much for coming on such short notice to talk about women's health. So I'll give the mic to Dr. B to welcome you, and then you will get a moment to introduce yourself. Dr. B, you're muted. Kindly unmute yourself and welcome our guest.
Hello, Africa Online Media, Reverend Pam, Nia Song, and everybody else on here, Dr. Carleen Mondesi Harewood. I am going to keep it brief, but I just want to say thank you for honoring this invitation to join us on this forum. You're reaching many people around the world, and that's the exact reason we do this, because otherwise some people will not have access to health information. So thank you for accepting to come on here. Dr. Carleen, I'm going to let you finish your introduction, but I want to say something real quick. Dr. Carleen is not just my colleague, she's my sister and she's my friend. She's my sister in Christ and she's my friend. We met in Penn State University College of Medicine from the very first day, and we became good friends and we have stayed friends. So it's been a long-standing relationship. And we have seen each other go through medical school, through residency. We got married 3 months apart. I was at her wedding in New York, and we have grown together in our faith, in our profession. And not only is she a board certified obstetrician and gynecologist who has been practicing in New York for many years, she's also now dabbed into lifestyle medicine, because she has come to realize the power of choice in helping women and helping people around the world. So I'll let her complete her introduction, but I want to say thank you again and God bless you.
Okay, Dr. Harewood, this show is unscripted, and before you introduce yourself, I am going to pick on Dr. Tazan. I don't understand why it's taking you 100 years to introduce her to us. I can't believe you had a friend, a colleague, and a sister like this all these years, and we didn't know anything about her until last Sunday. So, Dr. B, you're going to pay a fine.
I will pay the fine joyfully.
And Dr., the only way I'll forgive you, Dr. B, if you ensure that Dr. Harewood joins us in Accra this Labor Day weekend. That's the only way I'm gonna forgive you. So, Dr. Harewood, the mic is yours. But just relax. This show is unscripted, so there's no telling what is gonna happen. The mic is yours, my sister.
Thank you so very much for having me. Thank you, B, for inviting me. I definitely welcome the opportunity to share the knowledge that I have with people across the world. So again, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Carlene Mondesier Harewood. I am a board certified obstetrician and gynecologist, a mother of four, the founder of Graceful Medical and its virtual telehealth platform, Graceful Menopause, where I
Wow.
help women thrive at every stage of life. I'm not here to really give a lecture. I'm here to give you a lifeline. The
Okay.
Bible says, "My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge." That is Hosea 4:6. And I believe that my calling is to give you knowledge so you are not destroyed, so you can protect
Amen.
yourself and protect the women you love.
Amen.
So I'd like to share a couple of stories. I feel that sharing stories is more impactful and people can relate. So
Mhm.
as you listen to these stories, they could be you, your sister, your best friend, your mother. So story number one, the low fluid and code blue. A first-time mom to the hospital because fluid around her baby is low. She's in labor, she's in pain, and she's requesting pain medication. The anesthesiologist is facing challenges. Finally, she receives the medication, then a code blue is called.
Mm.
Blood pressure has plummeted. This is one of the ways we can lose a mother and a child in the same moment. But she survived. That day, she survived. Story number two, the wrong bag. An
Mm.
expectant mother is waiting for her spouse to arrive so he doesn't miss the delivery. Her doctor tells the nurse to hang normal saline, just plain fluids, to keep her hydrated. While she waits, she starts to feel contractions back to back, unbearable. She mentions it to a friend. Her friend happens to be an African American nurse, and she says she hopes her husband will make it. The nurse checks the bag of fluid. It's not saline,
Oh,
it's
no.
Pitocin, a
Wow.
drug that induces
Labor.
stronger, more
Mm.
frequent contractions. The wrong bag was hung. That
Ah.
mother's body was being pushed into dangerous labor without her knowledge.
Wow.
The next story, story number three, the pool of blood. A mom gives birth to a beautiful baby boy. After delivery, she's left in a bed for hours. Her husband is by her side, her baby in her arm. Beneath the sheets, she is sitting in a pool of blood. No one checked on her. She survived, but not everyone does.
Mm.
The headache. A woman complains of severe headache after giving birth. She is scared to take any medication. She's seen as a complainer. Finally, she goes to the hospital. She is diagnosed with preeclampsia, dangerous high blood pressure that can lead to stroke and death. She survived, but again, not everyone does. Now, let me tell you about a dear friend. You all know her. I call her B. She
Mhm.
lives in South Carolina. One night she called me here in New York. Her family member in Cameroon wasn't feeling well. Her husband had taken her to the hospital, but the doctors kept saying she was just tired. The young doctor in Cameroon didn't recognize the signs or the urgency of preeclampsia and eclampsia. This is not to blame, this is to educate. B
Yes.
and I stayed on the phone. We didn't hang up. We wrote a letter to the hospital board. We kept calling. We kept advocating. We had boots on the ground in Cameroon, boots in South Carolina, boots in New York, and the Spirit of God interceding for our sister. Finally, they listened. They started Magnum. That woman's life. That is our job to stay on the line until our sister is safe. Yesterday, Yesterday, a colleague of mine attended a funeral of her beloved friend. A beautiful mother gave birth to her baby a year ago. She suffered postpartum cardiomyopathy, a weakening of the heart muscle that can happen after delivery. She didn't make it. Her baby is now a year old and
Ah,
she is gone. Now, I need to tell you something. The first story, the first time mom with the code blue, that was me with my first pregnancy. The second
wow.
story, that wrong bag of Pitocin instead of saline, that was me with my second pregnancy.
Oh,
Third story, the pool of blood after delivery, left for hours, that was also me. The fourth story, the headache and the preeclampsia, that was not me, but it happens to way too many women. I'm a board certified OB-GYN, a director of obstetrics and gynecology. I know medicine, but yet these things happen to me. So it can happen to me, it can happen to any one of us. Young or old, employed or not, professional or not, it happens to black and brown women more often, and that is not okay. Not with the knowledge we have today. Black women are 2 to 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy related causes than our white women. More than 80% of these deaths are preventable. That means every 6 minutes, a mother in this country is at the brink of death's door. We can count the faces on this call. If there are 10 of us, 3 could die. If there are 20, 6 can die. So my ask for you today, and again, I do thank B and this opportunity to present at this platform, is that we need to be heard, we need to be seen, and I need you to remember these stories.
mm,
You may have your own story, but sharing them may save lives. It's not just about the sex of the baby, it's not just about a baby shower, it's about taking the time to care for the whole person. A mother's role should not be taken lightly. Pregnancy is serious. So, my takeaway, the big killers: hemorrhage, soaking a pad in under an hour, dizziness, weakness. Our job is to check on that mother, not just dote on the baby after it's born. Just because the is empty doesn't mean that the mother is safe. She's not out of the womb. High blood pressure, headaches, vision change, swelling, chest pain. That's preeclampsia. That's a medical emergency. The treatment for that is delivering, but even after delivery, 6 weeks afterward, that mother can still experience a seizure. She can still experience preeclampsia. Infection, fever, foul discharge, severe pain. Doctors make mistakes. I admit, as a physician, I am not perfect. There's only one perfect physician, and that is Jesus Christ.
that's right.
We make mistakes, but I never want to have to say sorry to a loved one or a family member or a patient because of my negligence. So we have to listen. We have to stop and pay attention. My job is not done when she's holding the baby in her arm. My job is not done when she goes home. My job, in actuality, is never done.
Mhm.
6 weeks to a year, my job is still not done. I still have to care for that mom. She still can be in danger. But in addition to making sure that my job is not done, her family members, her loved ones need to know that their job is not done. They need to check on her. They need to find out if she needs help, if she has headaches, is she resting, is she still bleeding, that she is not alone. Um, Um, if something feels wrong, it's wrong until proven otherwise. That is permission for us as women and for our family to go back to the hospital, like B did in the situation with her family member in Cameroon. We knew that something was wrong. They knew that something was wrong, but they reached out to me, and we were able to see that this mom needed help. This mom was at the death's door, and God had given her grace and more time. And with B's advocacy and help, she received needed.
Mm.
So we do need to know our bodies. We can't normalize symptoms. We can't just say the mom is tired, she needs sleep, she needs rest. As women, we know our body. We know when we're not feeling right. We know the difference between exhaustion and something just being utterly wrong. We need to control chronic conditions, blood pressure, diabetes, our weight. Lifestyle medicine is a key. God has provided us with food, with water. In some areas, they don't have access to clean water. But again, we have to try our best and we have to listen. I've spent my career helping women through pregnancy and postpartum, but I know that there's more for me to do. And it starts by, again, sharing my story as a physician on platforms like these. If you have any
Oh,
questions, please ask. Um, I
Dr.
hope my
Harewood,
story was impactful.
I
Huh?
cannot help myself. I have to speak. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
This is a topic that is too dear to my heart. I know we were discussing women's health today. Like I said, this show is unscripted,
Mhm.
but and I'll try not to get emotional. My mom passed away in the hands of the best OBGYN doctor in the city in 1971 in Cameroon, less than 3 hours after giving birth to her eighth child. She was healthy. She never had any complicated pregnancy before then, but she hemorrhaged. They could not find her veins collapsed. They couldn't find her veins. So I'll try to take my personal self out of this because if I don't, I'm just gonna be messed up throughout the show. I want to thank you for sharing your story, and this story is gonna save lives, not just on the continent but here. People don't realize there are Black women who have died after giving birth in this country. I even know of a couple, immigrants, that has happened to. Like you say, they need to check on that. If you, OBGYN, can go through something like this 3 times, then think about it. And then what if Dr. B's relative did not have Dr. B and Dr. B did not have you? With the timely intervention you guys did. Back in 2003, I was discussing the telemedicine and the key for it. Of course, unfortunately, I didn't have the support I needed to implement it, but now telemedicine is very common. But back then in 2003, I was talking about doctors in Africa collaborating with doctors here in the US on difficult cases, you know, excuse me, and vice versa. Because I remember in 1996, I traveled to Cameroon and I came back. I knew I had malaria, but the hospital kept insisting. They kept claiming it was something more exotic. You and I know what they mean by something more exotic. But I had taken, because I'm a clinical pharmacist by training, so I had treated myself. That's why they could not find the malaria parasite. The lab work, they couldn't find it because it was gone. But it took, after 2 weeks in the hospital, they ran all kinds of tests, you name it, including HIV. Just laughing, and they didn't see anything. I kept telling these people it was malaria, and they kept arguing it has to be something more exotic because I just came back from Africa, you know. But our people don't get the same kind of treatment, and even a lot of the treatments that happen here doesn't really work for our people because they were not designed to treat our people. It's not one-sided. If you look at the healthcare system, and I've been in it for decades, even medications. Let me talk about an area that I have expertise in. A lot of the blood pressure medicines don't work for Black people because, first of all, they were never in the studies, Black people, and it's not just on the system. Our people don't trust the system. So a lot of us don't get involved in clinical trials. If you ask me, I've gotten invitations in the past to be part of clinical trials, and I will not. even though as a supervisor at Texas Children's Hospital, which is still the largest pediatric hospital in the world, we were very involved in a lot of clinical trials for vaccines, medications, for infants. So I knew these things were legitimate, but if you ask me to be a guinea pig, I will not accept. So it's in our nature as Black people. And and I'm not going to blame our people. There are a lot of historical incidents, including the Tuskegee syphilis case, that has destroyed that trust. But I'm saying that the system is really not designed to treat our people. It is not. Just yesterday, I came across an article on Facebook and I shared it on my status from a Black physician talking about, oh, if you are Black, you don't have osteoarthritis. Osteoarthritis, you probably have a deficiency in vitamin D, which most of us are deficient in that vitamin D, including me. But I never took the time to look up why, or I didn't realize it was a Black issue. But this guy explained it. The symptoms for vitamin D deficiency mimic the symptoms of osteoarthritis, but it takes a doctor who cares and somebody who is Black to look into the root cause of what is happening to our Black people. There's no reason. There are still mothers who are dying in childbirth in Africa. It's still happening every day. Our chief medical advisor, Dr. Ogoji, is an OBGYN too, and a family practice physician. He's practiced on the continent, in Ireland, and here in Washington, in Spokane. He'll be joining us earlier. He actually called earlier. He changed time zones from the airport, so he's going to be joining us. But these things happen. These things happen. The number of Black women, especially African women, who die in childbirth is ridiculous, and it is still happening. And I want to thank you for coming to share these things, because just listening to your story and this happening to you is scary. So let's hear from Mr. Songlefan Kemleke.
Reverend Pam, can I throw in a word real quick?
Sure. Dr. B, go ahead.
And I know Dr. Carlene knows this this friend of ours. She is of blessed memory. I just wanted to pay tribute to her. Her name is Dr. Aisha Gohir. We went to med school together too. And she was a friend of mine. I actually went to her bridal shower and her wedding. And next thing I know, a few years later, she was gone. And the baby also died. She died during childbirth. Very wonderful lady. And let me tell you, this woman was not just, she was an anesthesiologist. She was the chief of anesthesiology at the hospital where she died. And until this day, I cannot understand how that woman died during childbirth. Because in my mind, I was thinking if they were in distress, they could have just sectioned her. Exactly. I don't know what happened. But it went so bad that she didn't make it. And the baby came out. The baby was on hospice for about 2 or 3 weeks before the baby died, because the baby sustained so much brain damage. So this is just to say that nobody is really safe from these things. And that especially like Carlene said, Black and brown women are always at the highest risk. It doesn't matter who you are. Serena Williams almost died during childbirth. We've heard a lot of high profile people that we think their money will protect them. So it's the biggest thing that I have learned as a physician and being on the other side is that whenever a woman is going through pregnancy and she's going to go have a baby, she needs to have some serious and strong advocates. Don't be shy. Don't be ignorant. Fight. You can apologize later. Fight as much as you need to, because you may be the only thing that stands between that woman and death. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. B. And as the only man on this screen so far, I just have first a recommendation. Dr. Carlene, I appreciate what you say. I appreciate you for coming, and I appreciate the fact that you used a method as a teacher I used to use when I was in the teaching field. This telling personal stories. Personal stories are impactful. They are able to retain attention and make people also think of themselves. But my first question to you, what should we do, especially with the husbands, some husbands, not all, who are often indifferent in the presence of such illnesses as their wives say, I'm feeling pain here, I'm feeling pain there. What should the husbands do? Husband education should be a primary thing to do for you women doctors.
Well, again, I am very fortunate. I have a very supportive husband of 20 years. He was there.
Awesome.
Oftentimes, they have the fathers leave the room. I'm guilty of leaving the room when the mom is going to get an epidural. And the reason why we do that is because we don't want three patients. We only want the
Mhm.
mom and the baby as the patient, and we do not want the men passing out because
That's
they
right.
can't handle a needle or blood or anything like that. But
Mhm.
my husband, because it was taking so long to get the epidural in, they actually attempted it 4 times before they finally got it in. He
Wow.
had to return to the room, so they had him sit down in the chair next to me. And he was there. And what he did, I could feel it, I couldn't see him. He prayed. And what
Awesome.
doctors have to do is I encourage my patients to come in with their spouse. But some of them are single parents here in New York. Some of them don't have that support. The dad needs to work. And it's just being in tune with your loved ones. If your husband can't be there, then hopefully a mom or a sister. But they have to understand that I think we take it for granted because we have so many good outcomes
Mhm.
where the baby is here, everyone is happy. But I think if we're sharing more stories about the not so great outcomes, the losses, then hopefully that'll make the men a lot more aware when their wives are complaining of not feeling well.
Thank you
You
very
know,
much.
yeah, Dr. Harewood, you are so right. I mean, I'm an eyewitness to what you are talking about because I happen to have been present at the delivery of one of my relatives. And that was the first time I saw an epidural being administered. And the truth is, I mean, that's why I become a medical. First of all, I'm scared of blood. And the needle is so long that most men will pass out. You know,
Mhm.
first of all, labor pain, they cannot even handle labor pain, let alone actually see the weapon that is being inserted in the back of their wide. You're right, they will pass out. There are men who have actually passed out during deliveries of their child, even without the epidural. So yeah, you're so right about that. And I want to say this to the women. I wish Dr. Shole was here. He reminded me on this show, and that was a wake up call for me that it's okay for you not to be okay. Because a couple of years ago, I was very sick, but I kept doing things that I had no business doing, including zooming in on this show. Our anchors had no idea what was going on with me because I didn't share it with them. Ambassador Lisa, our co-anchor, almost passed out in New York when he found out how sick she found out how sick I was. Our women, especially Black women, we try to be Superman. You know, we try to be super. We keep even when we are hurting, we don't say anything, or even when we some of us when we know we need a cesarean. Oh, I don't want to be cut. I want to deliver naturally, and then some of them end up dying in the process. You know, you can't do it. There's nothing wrong with being cut if it will save your life and the baby. So I just want to encourage our Black women, women in general,
And in general.
don't be shy. I mean, do cry out for help. If you ask for help, you don't get it, keep screaming until somebody listens. You don't want to go to an early grave. And the story that Dr. B talked about one of your colleagues, that is very sad. And to think that she and the baby both passed away in this country is ridiculous. It is such a shame. We also what happened to our Black doctors who were sick during the pandemic, not even talking about Black patients. We all know that the system, is designed not to really accommodate us, but we cannot blame it all on the system. If the system doesn't want to accommodate us, we need to demand that
Absolutely.
accommodation. We have to command it, and because we have the right to be here, we have the right to best care, we have the right to best practices. Niason, over to you.
Yeah, Dr. Harewood, please forgive me. I was never in the delivery room any time for my 5 babies that I have. I have 5 boys. I never
You
went to
missed
the
out big
delivery room.
time.
So
You missed out.
it's kind of like too late now for me because the boots are up. and I'm just sitting there watching them grow. All the same, let us say this is happening mostly to our women. What should we do? I know you already answered this question, but what should we do to encourage men in general to be more concerned about the women folk rather than thinking that they are second-class citizens, back of the bed, everything else?
Can you repeat your question one more time for me? What
should we do with the men to let them know that they should not think that women are all in the back of the bed. Their place is all in the back of the bed. It doesn't matter how much pain they are complaining about. Don't say, oh, you're always complaining. What should we, the men, do?
Again, it's very hard. A lot of it is cultural. Even here, like men feel that women have certain roles and their bodies are built to have babies and to get up and to keep repeating and repeating and repeating it. But we're not machines. We are human. We experience pain. I mean, my thing is I think men should experience a contraction just one time in their life.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be awesome?
But we know that's not the case. But again, it comes back to really educating. Um, it comes back to compassion and love. We need to start off young. We need to educate the doctors because there are male doctors that still have that notion that, you know what, she's okay, or she's just complaining, or she'll be all right. But we have to change the story. We have to change it where we're actually listening to the women. We can't just practice medicine without having a conversation with the person that we're practicing on or practicing with. And I think it has to honestly start with fathers, big brothers, big uncles, educating the younger men. Just like in the Bible, it says the older women have to teach the younger. Well, now we also need the older men to teach the younger men how to be compassionate, how to be more loving, more caring, more attentive to their spouse, their helpmate. Um, but again, it's a cultural challenge. And I think as we continue with society, we've moved away from the family as the unit. Before there was slavery. Now it's more consumerism, materialism thing where we forget the person and we need to come back to how God designed it. A man and a woman, the two shall become one.
Yes.
But you can only become one when you're in conversation and where you're in communication. And we just need to talk. We need to be heard. And it's hard if fathers and grandparents aren't teaching their young men to look at the wives as an equal.
Yep.
There is a tendency to think that women are less taken into scientific research laboratories. Is it true? If so, what should scientists do? Should they wake up and sit up and be more concerned about the women than only the men?
Yes, they should. Again, I have steered away from, I don't practice deliveries anymore. I still see my prenatal patients, but even as a woman transition through perimenopause and menopause, where's the research in that? We have 1.6 billion women, or we will have 1.6 billion women by 2030 in perimenopause and menopause, and where's the research on that? But yet we have Cialis, we have Viagra for the men that are having challenges with erections. Why is that? Why are we so focused on research for the men, but we have women, they're equal, not getting the same research, not getting the same care in the medical field? Why is that? Why in 2026 we have women in the United States still dying?
Mm-hmm.
That is the question.
In this country, Dr. B, to you,
Yeah.
I saw your hand earlier. So, Dr. B had something to say.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, I think, Dr. Carlin brought that topic up, and to be honest with you, there's no way to advocate without becoming, more push for yourself, because you realize that the system is structured in such an unfortunate way that you cannot just say, well, do this. You have to kind of go back and how do we shake this system up? And I think a lot of times people misunderstand divine design. And what does that mean? Men are different from women. Women are different from men. And I think when they say men and women are equal, people panic. We are equal in God's sight, but we're not the same. We don't carry the same abilities and capabilities. We don't have the same assignment. A man does not have a womb. He cannot have a child. Okay, let me leave that alone for a moment. Women have a womb. Women have children. We are the ones who are primarily the nurturers of children. There's a reason why God made women to be more passionate, more emotional. If your mother is not emotional, you're in trouble. You're going to die early, or you're going to have a terrible life. So it takes a lot for women to raise children, for parents, but women especially, because women are the primary caregivers. The men do not breastfeed children, women do. There are many things that build into that. So because of that, women are designed to feel a little bit more, to be more sensitive, to be more emotional, and men are designed to be more logical. So we do not need to be the same, but we need to work as a team to help each other out and to form a strong family unit. So I think that when people begin to have that understanding and stop accusing women of, you're so emotional and you're so this, and you say, well, I am supposed to be. If I'm not emotional, you're in trouble. So that is, it's by divine design. We are packaged to function the way we're supposed to function. There's a reason why we need to be that way. So that if a child cries, the mother, a lot of times the father may actually just try to take a nap, but the mother would wake up. There's a reason. She feels the pain. I have this funny little story of a couple that had a newborn baby, and the woman was mainly, she was breastfeeding, and so she usually would wake up to feed the child, but sometimes they are really tired, and this woman was very tired, and one night the baby cried, and the woman was so tired, she was upset, because when we hear our babies cry, we get upset. And she was upset, but she did not have the strength to get out of bed and get the baby. And the husband always used the excuse that, oh, you're breastfeeding and you're doing this. So, sometimes you can take, just do that for a few hours so she can rest. But the man was using that excuse, and he would pretend not to hear the baby cry. So this baby cried and cried, and this woman was so tired, she was upset, but she's like, I'm not going to do anything. This is his child too. So she lay in bed, he lay in bed, and he pretended to be sleeping. And then after the baby cried for a while, the man finally got up and he's like, you are such a wicked woman.
Can you imagine? As if she made the baby by herself.
Exactly. But, that's part of the lack of understanding. We need to change that mentality that it is one person's duty to do all of this and all of that. And we also need to change the mentality that we are all the same. We are not all the same. We are not meant to be the same. We have functions that require us to be different, and we need to embrace it. So I don't try to get into extremely emotional stuff with my husband, because I don't expect him to be as emotional as a woman. Women, we connect, we talk, we cry about stuff, we laugh about stuff. We do not have problems connecting. Men do, because they're not that emotional, you know. And so it is a design that is meant to enhance the human experience, and we need to embrace it and utilize it as such.
Okay, I have a question for Dr. Harewood. Our co-anchor
Here comes our co-anchor.
Our co-anchor is finally made it. Ambassador Lisa, I'm glad you made it. You need to watch this program. You have missed a whole lot. You need to watch this program. Dr. Harewood is amazing, and I queried Dr. B for taking 100 years to tell us about her. But Dr. Harewood, I have a question for you. And I want you to speak directly. I know it happens here in the diaspora too, but it happens a lot on the continent, because the laws may be there, but they're not being enforced. There are men that abuse their wives, even while they are pregnant. The abuse doesn't start while they're pregnant, but in some cases it does. But because of all the hormonal changes that the woman goes through, but there are men that beat up their wives. And from OBGYN point of view, a medical point of view, kindly take a minute to educate. I'll call them fools and idiots. That's what I'm going to label those men who do that. Anybody who abuses their spouse is a fool and an idiot, whether you're a male or female. But specifically, women who are pregnant, being battered by their husbands, what are the impacts on the woman, not just mentally, psychologically, but physiologically also? and on the development of the baby. If you can take a minute, and because you practice here, you may not have seen that in your practice, but just look at it like a hypothetical situation here in the US, even though it does happen, especially among immigrants, African immigrants here in the US and on the continent.
Okay, so it's not just on the African continent, as you said, it definitely happens in the US. And when I see a mom for the first time when she comes in, I am asking those questions. Whether she's
Awesome.
pregnant or not, I'm asking the questions. We know that the risk of domestic violence increases when a mom is pregnant, because the men are frustrated. I don't know what demonic, spiritual um, overtake has come upon them, but we know that domestic violence increases. So what we do in my practice is we're constantly asking, we're constantly educating. If a mom admits to it, then we try to get her resources where she's speaking to the social worker. We're trying to get her into a safe home. But at the same time, I know I would want my sister to leave immediately, but sometimes that can't be done. That's her support, that's her finance. And she knows that individual very well. And she knows that he can kill her if she leaves abruptly or if she leaves and she has other kids in the home. So it's very challenging. I've had moms where I see the black eye, you know, I ask them, do you want help? And they say that they're okay. I've had mom come in and say that she's going to pack her stuff and she's going to come to the office and the social worker has set her up. But then when the time arrives, she's not there. So I think we know what we want for these women, but they have to be mentally ready. And unfortunately, some of them are never ready. Some of them die. Some of them are still in the abusive relationship. A lot of them miscarry because we know any trauma to the uterus can cause the placenta to separate. That baby will bleed out. Um, Miscarriages happen, and unfortunately, again, it's sometimes due to the domestic violence, whether it's the physical hitting or it's being pushed down a flight of steps. We know it happens. And again, it comes down to we need to educate, and we don't wait to educate when that individual is 15, 16, 17, or in a relationship. We have to educate when they're in kindergarten, not
Yes.
about, you know, love, but about caring for your friend, about caring for your brother and your sister, and not using your hand to express your emotions, whether it's anger. And we've come very far away. And unfortunately, even with the climate right now, the political climate, not that we should talk about politics, but the political climate, people feel that they can speak any way they would like. They can use their hands. And I love this picture. Yes, and we need to go back to prayer. You're right. We need to go back to prayer and we need to start young. I think we are guilty of teaching our children to get a good education, get a career, make the money, get the mansion, get the house, get the wealth. But at the end, all of that means nothing if their character is lost, if they no longer have empathy, if they no longer have love. There's a verse, quote me, I'm not a pastor, but what's the point? Or I forget how it goes.
What
You
does it
gain
benefit a
nothing
man to gain the whole world and
but
lose
lose
your
his
soul?
soul, then lose your
That's what I was
soul.
thinking of.
That's the one I wanted, but it profits no one. So when you talk about domestic violence, it's very scary. I remember as a teenager, my older sister was taking me to a doctor's appointment, and as she was driving, there was a car on the road in front of us that had stopped. And she told me to look, and when we looked, this man was beating the woman that he was with in the car
Oh my
in the middle
God.
of the street where he stopped traffic to beat her.
What?
And
Where
we're
were the
young
police?
girls. We're not going to do anything. But other people from across the street had to come in and help this lady.
Lord have mercy.
So it happens. It happens all too often. But again, it's not about OBGYN. It's not about being a physician. It's about teaching people how to be human.
That
That's
is
where
crazy.
it starts. That's where it starts. It starts with us teaching our boys to respect the young ladies and the ladies to respect themselves.
Yeah.
And the ladies to report when it happens. Many ladies
Yes.
tend to keep quiet.
Oh, a lot of them. I remember a few years ago, we did this. Actually, 10 years ago, our first show on March 20th was on domestic violence.
Mm.
And we've done domestic violence every year on this program.
Yes.
And I remember one time we did it. I think that's Dr. Ogoji joining us from the airport.
You're breaking up.
Yeah, I'm breaking up.
Yes.
There you go, Dr. Ogoji. Are you still at the airport?
Yeah, I'm airport. Yes, I'm here.
When is your flight?
7 p.m., another 2 hours.
Okay, good. So we're going to give you the mic right after the top of the hour. But this lady sent us an email and she really wanted to leave. So we gave her all the contacts of the domestic abuse lines and all those resources that are available. And she wanted to leave, but she was afraid because even though she was working, she was an RN, the husband scheduled it in such a way that all her direct deposit was going into an account that he controls. And so she didn't even have access. She had to ask him for money for whatever she needed, and he had isolated her from her family. And I tell people all the time, if you're in a relationship and somebody isolates you from your siblings, your family, run for your life. That person is gonna abuse you. That is dangerous sign. And they do that because they want to make sure nobody can check on you, that you don't have access to anybody besides the perpetrator. But this lady couldn't leave. She was afraid. And she had 2 kids with a man. Having kids is not a reason to stay in an abusive relationship, because if you are dead, that man will still marry somebody, and somebody who is going to maltreat your children. So that's not what I'm not in support of
Sorry.
divorce, but get yourself out of danger and get help.
Yeah, it's the top of the hour.
No, yeah, just give me a second. Yeah, let me just finish. I see the time, but if somebody abuses you, get help, and don't hesitate to call the authorities on the abuser. They have no business abusing you. So we're at the top of the hour. Ambassador Lisa, do you have the anthem?
No, unfortunately, I'm on my phone and I don't seem to be
That's
able to do.
okay. That's
Yeah.
that's all right. But our topic, Dr. Harewood, take a sip of water. Our topic for next week, we're going to be discussing parenting next week, and I think that'll be a good sequel to this show. But I want to give the mic to Dr. Ogoji. Dr. Ogoji, we are discussing women's health, and our guest and sister, Dr. Harewood, really brought it home. When you get a chance, listen to the first hour of the program. She was talking about deliveries, things that happen to women when they deliver. You've delivered a lot of babies. And as an OBGYN, can you kindly weigh in on women's health, especially pregnant women, nursing mothers, or any aspect that you want to discuss, Dr. Ogoji?
Yeah, so women and pregnancy. First and foremost, pregnancy, I tell people, is not a disease. is a natural phenomenon where we're meant to procreate and reproduce ourselves to populate the world. However, for most women, it's easy, but for few women, it becomes complicated. So pregnancy comes with a lot of problems, First and foremost, pregnancy is a very emotional problem for women, especially if they did not prepare for the pregnancy. Pregnancy should be prepared for. So in ideal world, every woman should plan when they should get pregnant, and they should decide how many children they want to have and space them accordingly. But we know in reality that most pregnancies occur unplanned. A young lady in her 15 or 20 or 25 in a relationship with a guy suddenly becomes pregnant. That's life-changing moment. So first thing that happened to them, they say, oh my God, am I pregnant? Is it real? Is it not real? The emotions start to play in their mind. Then the hormones come in. In pregnancy, the progesterone goes high up. Estrogen also increases. Other hormones also increase, including prolactin and things like that. Of course, in pregnancy, especially if you are in an unstable relationship, the abuser becomes more abusive. If your partner is not stable, not supporting you, they become more abusive towards you. So that's why in pregnancy, we want women to come and seek care with doctors, establish care with a primary care physician that's going to take care of you, with an OBGYN doctor or obstetrician that's going to look after you during the pregnancy, to make sure that one, baby is growing well. That's one. Make sure that you have the right nutrition for your baby, and make sure that you have a safe environment for you and your baby. So putting all this together, when a woman is pregnant, the only access, most of the time, the only access they have outside the house when they come for prenatal care or what we call antenatal care in Africa. They come to you, we try to look at the over the whole health of the patient, find out how they're doing emotionally, physically, otherwise. That's opportunity to screen women for all sorts of diseases, including STDs and things like that, because it will surprise you that in some part of the world, even here in America, among my patient population, I have the rate of chlamydia of about almost 10% of chlamydia among my patients.
Wow.
Yes. So chlamydia, gonorrhea, HIV, syphilis, hepatitis. This is a time for them to actually use opportunity to screen them for all the STDs and give them the treatment they need. So that's first thing. Then, of course, the time will bring them out, talk about family planning and how to take care of themselves, and talk about domestic abuse and child abuse and emotional abuse. This is the time women open up about the abusers, because they come and see you. They see you. A pregnant woman will see me every 4 weeks until 28 weeks, every 2 weeks until 36 weeks, and every week to delivery. So, but a woman see you every month, she established some type of rapport with you that she will tell you everything that's happening in the house. Of course, you have to ask these questions about, do you feel safe in a relationship? How are you doing? And sometimes we intentionally want the woman to come and see us alone. So when I see, if I see a pregnant person coming to me, every time she comes, the boyfriend or husband is there, that's not support. It may be support, but it may not be support.
Mm-hmm.
So if a woman
Yeah.
come and see me, every time she comes, the husband is there and he's always there, always there. I have no problem with that. But if he answers all the questions, that's a red flag.
Red flag.
So he said, then I'll make sure next time you come, I'll say, this time I want to do a certain test with the patient. I don't want you to be around. Can you wait can you wait outside the hall? Then if he tries to resist me, then that's a red flag about abuse. So focus back on pregnant women and their time. So pregnancy is a time to talk about emotions, abuse, and health. Most women, those from African, those of African descent, don't do routine screening like pap smear or STD testing. This is a time we'll see them, we'll screen them, we'll do the pap smear at the same time. Because it surprise you that the number have not changed. In Africa, over 400,000 women die in Nigeria, over 400,000 women die of cervical cancer every year. Cervical cancer every year. A disease that is preventable. And if you look at 400,000 women dying every year of cervical cancer, You can liken that to over 20 jet plane crashing every year.
Wow.
Yes. So if you look at it, 400, so a jet carries maybe 200 women or 300.
200 to 250 or 300, yeah.
So 250 is 10 jet plane. 500 is 20 jet plane. So every year in Nigeria, over 400 women die of cervical cancer, which is a preventable disease. And nobody talk about it because it's not plane crash. Let one plane crash and all the patient dies. Wow. Then it becomes a talk of the war. So that's when we look at. So pregnancy is an opportunity to take care of women and make sure they are physically, mentally, and emotionally ready to take care of the baby they're bringing to the world. That's first thing. Then everything in pregnancy is typically good for most women until the time of delivery. That delivery time, when they're in labor, is another very serious aspect of women's health. So when a woman is in labor, especially in the continent where we don't have epidurals and pain management, you're surprised that some people in Nigeria, I'm sure other African countries, if their wife gives birth 3 times with cesarean section, they divorce them for having baby with cesarean section because they are spending money on C-section. So a woman give birth 1, 2, 3, the third one C-section. No, why having a cesarean section? They'll kick them out and divorce them and find a woman that can give birth without C-section because they don't want to pay money for because if you're gonna pay $5 for vaginal delivery, you're gonna pay $25 for C-section times 5. So men frown at the woman for giving birth by cesarean section in Africa as a whole, not knowing that this woman, for her to have gone to cesarean section, has labored all day, all night, and then cesarean became the only option for her to deliver baby. Instead of supporting her, it becomes a point of abuse. A point of abuse. So that's why when I was working in Nigeria, in a teaching hospital in Nigeria, every week, I'll repeat, every week, we get 2 women from a maternity center that came to give birth, that came to a hospital because the baby have died in the womb because they've been pushing for 7 hours, 8 hours. Because these women want to do everything under their body, under their own, to deliver by vaginal delivery. Because they deliver by C-section, they'll get trouble with their husbands. So things like that should not be happening. So we need more education about men and women that if you are in labor, go to the doctor. If you go to the midwife, of course, please, if things don't go smoothly, transfer your care to the doctor because by the time you come and see us in the hospital, the baby is dead, you maybe lose your life. So these things happen. And then I like telling another story. When I was in Nigeria, I had a woman I wanted to do a C-section on because her baby was what we call unstable lie. So baby maybe head now. So babies tend to be head down, we call that normal position. If they're head up, it's called breech. In America, if you're not head down, it's cesarean section automatically. In Africa, we do all sorts of delivery for women with abnormal presentation. But I have this lady that came to see me while in labor. Her baby was head now. Next time I checked, baby was transverse. Next time it was breech. So baby was just dancing around, and that was baby number 8. So I offered her cesarean section and she agreed. I was about to take her cesarean section. One of my patients that I wanted to section in the morning, sorry, I wanted to section her, please, okay? She agreed. She called her husband. The husband came and took her to a maternity. She went to have a baby at a maternity. Then I let them go. Of course, I can't force them. Then I was trying to section a second woman in the hospital. This idiot came and announced that we are not good. We like to section women. Women have delivered vaginally, and everything is fine. When she made the announcement, one of my patients left and went to that maternity to go and deliver. The patient left. After 2 hours, she came back and said, "Oh, that woman died." So the first woman I wanted to section, the husband took her to the maternity center, went there, successfully had vaginal delivery, and then bled to death. But the husband did not come and tell us that she died. He came and told us she has delivered. So why I'm saying all this is that our people, our women in the continent should know, if you die, your child becomes an orphan. If you die, the next moment your husband or your partner is getting a different girlfriend. Or
That's right.
Go marry your best friend who will come and abuse your children. So delivery and labor and delivery is very complicated. Thank God for this part of the world. Even in America, I mean, I see a lot in America, women come, their partner abuse them sometimes, but it's different. But that's when, again, you have to look at how are they interacting with the children? How is the man supporting the woman in labor? What is the interaction with the woman scream? Because women in labor sometimes will scream and curse. No, I don't justify them, but when they curse too much, it means they curse when they are not in labor. So if they curse too much, I pity the guy. That means the guy gets cursed all the time. But sometimes they abuse and say all sort of things. But the man supposed to be a support person should understand that she's going through a lot of emotions. She's about to bring a human being to the world. The pain is unbearable. So see what you can do for them. So, and the support of the partner is, you cannot beat the support. The partner support is very, very important so that you know that you're going to have a healthy pregnancy and delivery. And go back to my family. My sister came to have baby here about 10 years ago in the US. She was in pain and wanted a epidural. My mom said, no, don't do that. My mom was trying to discourage her from having a epidural. And of course, she's educated. She said, Mom, you know what? Please go to the store and buy me X, Y, and Z and kick her out.
So she could have an epidural.
Before my mom should come back, she had an epidural and she was smiling. Mom said, do you get it? He said, Mom, you want me to die? I got it and I'm happy about it. So basically, women health, women should be empowered to speak up what they need.
Yes.
You decide when you want to get pregnant, who you want to get you pregnant, how you want to have your baby delivered. You can even choose to have a cesarean section. It's your choice. Your husband cannot decide when to go to the hospital. Husband cannot decide how the mode of delivery for you. Husband cannot decide. Those things should be a decision. And if he wants to have a baby, he should prepare to pay for you to have a baby either by cesarean section or vaginal delivery. Let the doctors do their job and give you the best care that you deserve. What matters is healthy mom, healthy baby. If I achieve those two goals, that's what matters. The rest here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ogoji. Ambassador Lisa will come to you, but Dr. Harewood really needs to give her last word because she has another appointment. Dr. Harewood, thank you so much for joining us on such short notice. Please kindly unmute yourself and give us your last word. I know this will not be your last time joining us. Dr. Harewood, the mic is yours.
I want to say thank you again for having me. It was nice to share and collaborate. It's nice to listen to Dr. Kinsley. And I agree with what he said. And again, we have to continue to educate.
Yes. Thank you so much. And we'll be speaking offline about collaborations. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice night.
Thank you very much and take care.
Right.
Thank you, Carlene.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
All right.
Ambassador Lisa, the mic is yours. You're muted.
I don't have much of a voice, but I think we can just go ahead on and do our anthem. Is the anthem ready?
Do you have it?
No, I told you I was on the phone.
No, I'll play it at the end. That's fine. So let's hear from Dr. Bill. If you guys have any questions for Dr. Ogoji,
Okay.
Yeah, Dr. B, I don't want to cut your line of thinking, but I was thinking of asking about menopause and heart disease.
For me?
One moment.
No, I wanted to ask Dr. B since she's the one coming on now.
Okay.
Well, she's not unmuting, so Dr. Ogoji.
One moment, sir.
Oh, okay.
One moment.
I'm rushing you.
I'm going to play the anthem at the end. So, Ambassador Lisa, you said you don't have any questions?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, so Dr. Colleen, she is also very passionate about menopause, so I'm sure that next time she comes, she can even talk a lot more about it. But even
Yeah, we
from
can
a
do that in May because May, like Mother's Day, we can do that at the end of May.
yeah, but from a lifestyle medicine standpoint, from a dermatology standpoint, menopause is it's something that really needs to be talked about more. They are doing studies now, and even amongst female physicians, I'm bringing this so that everybody can understand. A lot of female physicians kind of just drop out of practice after the menopausal season because they go through so much, and there's no room for us. There's no conversation. There's no accommodation. Like Colleen said before, there's a lot of accommodations for men. When men are going through erectile dysfunction, which comes with age and also lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
there are things to accommodate them. Men go through different things that accommodate them. But for women, for some reason, our health is not really considered to be that important. We're just a useful part of the machine. We are not really important. We are not treated with the importance that women should be treated with. And it's not because we want to be better than other people. It's because women they're the glue that keeps things together.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to start giving women that importance. And we women, we need to stop undermining ourselves and thinking, oh, I can do this, I'm strong, I can handle this. We need to start speaking up and understanding that we are complicated, we are amazing and complicated at the same time. And we need a whole lot more attention than we're getting. So when menopause comes, a woman's body is going through hell. The hormones are going crazy. And we just found out recently a lot of the things that women exhibit during menopause is not because they're crazy, it's because their bodies are acting up. The
Mm-hmm.
hormonal changes, for example, there are a lot of hormonal estrogen receptors in the brain. So that's why when women are going through menopause, guess what's happening? They start having this mushy brain. They have what they call the brain fog. And a lot of other things that happen, they have all these emotional things. They have, and then the things that used to protect them before menopause. For example,
Estrogens.
estrogens and the things that used to protect them from things like heart disease and
Mm-hmm.
osteoporosis, those slowly go away during menopause. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's why after that age, after women go through menopause, the tick in heart disease goes up, osteoporosis goes up, and a lot of other things. So their bodies are going through a lot. The hormones are driving them crazy. It's almost like a reversal of the teenage years. The body's withdrawing all these goodies that it used to give you. Your body used to be nicely moisturized. All of a sudden, you don't hold on to moisture as much. The body parts that we use for other things, they become kind of dry. And maybe the men get frustrated. We don't talk about that. There are ways to handle that. And so people need to start realizing that women are not just being difficult. They're not just being wayward. They're not just being divas. They're actually going through a lot. And they need a lot of support. They need a lot of understanding. They need a lot of kindness. The temperature changes. I think a lot of men experience that. Somebody puts up the AC or the heater, the other person puts it down, or even the same person. 1 minute you're hot, the next minute you're cold. It's not because we enjoy these temperature shifts. It's because the body is going through a whole lot of nonsense, and you're trying to cope with it. And coming from a spirit of understanding and kindness, and just being knowledgeable helps us to realize instead of me beating this person down when the person is suffering, I need to support them. I need to help them. I need to make a way for them to survive this season. The season shall pass, then they shall be on to the next season. But they need all the support and all the love and help they can get. The hair, they can experience hair loss. They can experience the nails can get brittle. The skin can become just more dry and thin. There are just many things that happen because estrogen actually freshens a woman up. And when you lose those things, a lot of those things go away. And so they have to find ways to cope with them. And then even things like the hormonal replacement therapy, it's been controversial for many
Replacement
reasons.
therapy has its own challenges too.
Exactly. But there are times when people really need it. And that's why you have to have a good conversation with the patients about, I know you're going through a lot right now. The hormone replacement therapy is going to help you, but we just have to keep a close eye on you. And if you're taking it and you notice that something is happening, please come back to us quickly. Let's work with you. Because there are sometimes that the symptoms are so severe that these women cannot function. They have to have that replacement. And it's unfair for us to put everybody in one basket. There's some women that can cope well, or that don't have symptoms are not as severe. They can kind of work their way through it. And then there's some other people that just cannot do it. They have to have the support, and we cannot treat everybody the same way. So I think even on the job and so on, if you have women, don't wait for them to tell you. There's something we call women of a certain age. When you see a woman in her late 30s, maybe like more in the early 40s, going into the 50s, you should know that their bodies are beginning to go through the changes. So when you see things, stop having an attitude. Help them out if you can, support them if you can. They just need help getting through the season. And it's okay. It's part of life. It's not a crime. it's not a propensity towards bad behavior. It's really just a part of life. Moodiness, I mean, you name it, you'll see it. And when you see it, don't take it personally. It is somebody trying to survive the changes, the seasons of life. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Before we do our round, I just feel compelled to share this. Dr. B, you are right. So many people go through those menopausal symptoms, especially hot flashes. Some don't. You know, when I was 40, I had a major surgery that would have put me in surgery-induced menopause, but I just prayed and asked God to deliver me from all that. And the reason why I prayed, because I have someone who had hit menopause, and she didn't have any of the symptoms. So I asked her, I said, what happened? She said she prayed. So I said, well, Lord, you did this for her, you can do it for me. And I know you will do it for me because you're not a respecter of persons. So medically speaking, I should have been experiencing those things at age 40. But I'm going to tell you, I did not experience it after that surgery. And even when I hit the rightful age of menopause at 50, I did not experience it. And I still don't experience it, and I will never experience it. I just said a simple prayer. So, and it worked for me. You know, so I said it and I believed it and it worked for me. I've never had even hot flashes one day of my life. Never. You know, so, but Ania song, we can take it around, and then Ambassador Lisa, you're speaking?
Before we do that, I want to say, Reverend Pam, I agree that I am not necessarily in compliance, but I did not go through menopause symptoms.
Awesome.
I began to speak to my body, and I put it in the atmosphere. I will not be crazy. I will not have hot flash. I will not scream at my children. I will not. My body will process through this gracefully. And I spoke it for years. I didn't wait for the age for menopause to come on. See, a lot of times we wait for things to happen, then we pray, but it's already too late. I've been praying against old age diseases since I was in my teenage. I was praying when I had my hysterectomy. I started praying about menopause then, and I went through gracefully. Never yelled at the children or anybody. No hot flashes.
Awesome.
And it can be done. Yes, prayer works, but we must also be on the offensive. I forget, because I'm not really a football. I don't know which is offense or defense. But what I'm saying is we must always be prepared and be ahead of the game. We cannot wait for things to happen. We know in old age, people are going to get arthritis. If you look in your family tree line and your bloodline,
I am not going to get it.
But you know, if these things come, if you know that these things come in your family line, you can begin to speak to those things and call your body to line up and say, I will not suffer these old age diseases. Like I said, I was in my teenage years speaking against arthritis and diabetes and all the things that I saw going on in my bloodline. They will not come. The buck stops here, and they will not come.
That's right.
In this body.
That's
and
right.
I have been relatively healthy, except for my accidents. I've had some accidents. But other than that, that's what causes my pain. Right now I'm suffering with really bad allergies. These seasonal allergies are really doing me in. But other than that, I have been good. But we need to learn how to be on the offensive and not wait for things to happen or expect it to happen to begin to pray and begin to try and deal with arthritis or diabetes or any of those other things. Dr. B, it's good to see you.
Lisa, when you go out, wear your mask. You will not worry. You will not deal with that seasonal allergies. I have a couple of relatives that figured out during the pandemic they never experienced any of those allergy symptoms because they were always wearing their mask when they went out. So just try that.
From the pollen.
Yes, exactly. Try that. And
pollen is really bad right here in Philly. The pollen is so high. People's
so
cars
when you put on the mask, you don't get to inhale it.
Wear your mask, and you will see that. But these things works because Proverbs 18:21 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." I would never be on any medications. I'm not on any medications, no matter what I've been through health-wise, and I never will be. All those illnesses, even at 90 or 100, I was intent to still wear my high heel shoes, still do the same things that I do, and it's gonna happen. I don't care how many people use walking stick or whatever. That one is not gonna happen to me. So I'm just saying, it doesn't cost anything to say those things. You get what you say. Bottom line, so.
One of my elders is 94. She's 95. She'll be 96 in May. And outside of the stroke that she had 3 years ago, she has never been on medication. Drive her own self, go anywhere. And 3 years ago, she happened to have a stroke. But other than that, even while she's on the stroke, she's on no medication at all. She's the one taught us how to speak to our bodies and speak before things happen.
Amen.
Okay, that being said, I'm going to...
Well, let me just do a shout out to this young lady. Niason, just 1 second. In June, I spent a couple of weeks in Tuskegee. That was my first time there, and it was just a breathtaking experience. And the young lady that was driving me around, she calls herself private Uber. She was not doing Uber though, but she was in her late 80s.
Oh,
that's the person that picked me up, that took me wherever I want, and she did it with so much joy. So I want to do a shout out to Miss Joni of World Conference of Mayors in Tuskegee, Alabama. Miss Joni, I love you. But we visited her older sister who is in her 90s. She lives alone. She drives herself to the grocery store, drives herself to her doctor's appointment. Her house was spotless, and she's in her 90s. She walks upright. So, and I was talking to a lady who was very close to me. She's in her 80s. She is helping her children with their schoolwork. And I told her, I say, your brains are going to stay active because you are basically going through this undergraduate course with them. I tell people, use your brains. You don't use it, you will lose it. Use your muscles. You don't use it, you will lose it. So this thing about age is in the mind. If you decide, Dr. B, I met Dr. Debeki, one of the best.
I know him. I'll tell you something about him.
Well, every medical doctor knows who Dr. Debeki is. When you get to Methodist Hospital in the Texas Medical Center, his picture is right there. I met him. I was doing a course with Rice University and Baylor College of Medicine, and he came to speak with us. At that time, he was in his 90s, and he still got up at 6 o'clock in the morning. He was not operating anymore. But I'm just saying that to see him at that age still get up early in the morning, that tells you something. It's determination. There are people who, when they hit 50, they think they are senior citizens, they are elderly, they think it's time to retire, they give up on life, but you don't have to. You don't have to give up on life. With lifetime medicine now, Dr. B, a lot of people now are paying attention to longevity, vitality, lifestyle medicines, lifestyle changes. So you can live to be, we are promised 120. You can live to be 100, 110 and still do what you used to do. I'm not saying that you can still run the way you used to run, but you can still be independent. Don't give up, because once you give up, that's it. There are people who die because they decide to give up before their time. And there are people who make up their mind that this disease is not going to take me. And that disease has to listen. So Niason, let me hand the mic over to you.
Okay, I was going to go to Dr. Ogoji to give him time to be able to run to the plane, because he has to board a plane very soon. So Dr. Ogoji, your last word before we close.
Well, the last word is that women's health is important. Women are, if they are healthy, the whole family is healthy. If they are sick, every other person is sick. So I think the earlier we start taking care of our women, giving the support they need, especially during pregnancy, labor, and delivery, the earlier we help to make sure they have a healthy baby, healthy mama, and survive the war. So the women in our life, my mom, my wife, my daughters, I'm with you guys anytime. I can't stand anybody abuse any woman that's close to me, because I'm going to fight for the person and deal with the person most likely. So we're there to protect them, and they're there to make sure we're healthy. Thank you.
Thank you,
Dr. Ogoji, for being a champion for women all these years.
Dr. B, if you are there, please, your last word.
Dr. Ogoji, Johnny Mercies, thank you so much for everything you do, sir. I just want to encourage us to remember that we are all here for a reason, a season, and a purpose. And that includes the men, the women, the children. Everybody's here for a time and a purpose. And I just pray that we will be mindful of each other. And that includes taking care of each other, and especially the women, because the women carry the burden of moving forward the human race. Of course, we don't do it by ourselves, but the feminine body is designed for that purpose. And I hope that we can respect that deeply enough to pay attention to their health and to support them as they're going through the different phases of life. A healthier woman brings healthier children and a healthier family and a healthier world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and see you next week. Excellent. Co-anchor Ambassador Lisa. Sorry. Your last word.
Good afternoon. My last word, women's health. Very important. Sisters, brothers, help our wives, help your wives, help your daughters. You need to learn what women are going through, not just be saying they're crazy or just push them aside and discharge or disregard how they are feeling. It is up to all of us. Sisters, take care of yourselves. Brothers, take care of your women. Take care of your women. Take care of your daughters. Women's health is equally as important as men's health. But as Dr. B said, women have more hormonal changes than men do. And men have them as well, but theirs does not affect them like women. And women, we have the burden of taking care of the family, regardless of whether we're going through or what we're going through. So it is up to each one of us, brothers and sisters, to educate the other about what's going on and be open and honest. And as we said earlier, teach your daughters, teach your sons. Don't wait for teenage years. Start elementary school, letting them know that abuse is not right, that no one should be putting their hands on them, and not wait till our daughters get into relationships or our daughters marry men who are physically, mentally, and emotionally abusive. And as always, online every Sunday, 4:30, where we're here to talk about a variety of topics that educate, empower, and uplift our people on the continent and those of us here in the diaspora. Follow us on Facebook and on YouTube. See you next week.
See you next week. Thank you very much. The chair of this organization needs to give a last word. Reverend
Yes, Dr. B, thank you so much for bringing Dr. Harewood on. And Dr. Ogoji, thank you so much for your faithfulness. Have a safe flight back home. Thank you for all you've done.
Dr. Ogoji, as you travel. I'm sorry, Reverend Pam, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay. Thank you for pressing your way, and thank you for all the women whose life you have saved over the years in Africa, in Ireland, in the US, and all the babies that you successfully delivered. Thank you for your faithfulness. Dr. Ogoji will be on the panel in Accra. He only missed one summit. That was in the one in Nigeria in December because he couldn't go back to Nigeria. So he will be with us in Accra. Dr. B. Tazon will be there. And Dr. B, you cannot come alone. You need to bring at least 9 other people with you. We're going to be discussing Africa's health capital. So our 7th annual summit and charity ball, it's going to be in Accra, and there's going to be a historic groundbreaking. It is a must attend. The early bird special ends in 2 days. So if you've not bought your ticket, you better buy it in the next 48 hours. You know, the volunteer rate, Ambassador Lisa, I see your eyes moving. That doesn't apply to you. The volunteer rate is not available online. You know, so you can pay offline, Ambassador Lisa. Everybody pays to come to our event, including me. But Nia Song, I'm going to play the anthem right after you close us out. So the anthem will close us out, so Ambassador Lisa does not sue me. And next week we are going to start promoting the Operation Borehole 55. I did put the link in the chat box. And Ambassador Lisa, let's talk this week. Thank you so much. Nia, so your last word before I play the anthem.
Thank you so much. I appreciate what has happened. I appreciate Dr. Harewood especially for responding so promptly and coming in today to talk to our women about women's health. I honestly appreciate everyone and looking forward to seeing you next week. Let's talk about parenting.
Oh, Africa. Oh no. Africans, Africans for Africa. 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 Africans have many bright ideas. If only you let us share. If you really want to know my history, please come, sit down, listen to my story. God gave us the wisdom. He guides our footsteps, makes us shine and transform. Hey, as one people, with so many cultures, yet indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us all unite behind AfricaOnline Media Corporation. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. It's time to come together, promote awareness, progress, and solution. Hey, Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. All Africans can rally for a common cause, to believe without judgment in what our brother does. To identify and resolve our challenges, to allow each other's ideas without regard to standards. As one people with so many cultures, yes indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Let us solve all the problems plaguing our continent. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us empower Africans in and out of Africa. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. AfricaOnline Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. They have all the resources we need to benefit our society. Oh. There will be education for everyone if we believe. Prosperity for Africans if we believe. Medical facilitation for Africans if we believe. Stand up, Africa, yes, for Africa. AfricaOnline Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Africa is the cradle of civilization, the motherland. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. We were enslaved not because we were weak, but because of our hospitality. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Jump on the AfricaOnline miracle jet. Don't be left behind. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Together we shall succeed, together we will win. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. We are writing our own story, the truth, and we shall tell it to the world. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. No more lies, Africans own Africa.
Thank you.